Ayo, it's the O Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, CW. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure to hit that bell on YouTube and subscribe to the podcast on any and all platforms. Today, we're giving flowers to Rey Mysterio, one of the all-time greats in professional wrestling as a whole. Not just WWE, not WCW, not any promotion in Mexico or anything. The greatest, one of the greatest of all time. Let's give it up for Rey Mysterio. Just inducted into the Hall of Fame. Had a great match with his son, Dominic, at WrestleMania Night 1, I think. Yeah, Night 1. He brought back the LWO to WWE. I don't think that was the LWO a thing in WWE. They might have been with Psychosis. I think I can't remember completely, but LWO is back. He's replaced Legado del Fantasma's name with LWO. I think there is a rumor that they won't be going by that group name anymore, which, whatever. LWO, it's no better or worse than Legado del Fantasma, but it took me a while to get Legado del Fantasma down, and now I'm a little upset that I finally understand how it's said, that I won't be able to say it anymore. Maybe they'll get it back later, but whatever. LWO is back, all thanks to Rey. They're rocking the old school LWO shirts. It's cool. It's nice to see Zelina Vega in that as well. But Rey Mysterio is still making an impact in WWE after all these years. And if you go back, if you wind the clocks back, Rey Mysterio coming to WWE was a huge deal. When he showed up, I think he was not the first, but definitely the only masked wrestler to be, marquee like that. I think that after that there was Ultimo Dragon and maybe a couple others, and I'm not counting Lince Dorado and kind of the Lucha House Party that came years after. Rey Mysterio kicked that door open for those guys, and it was a huge door, and he's such a small guy, and it's impressive, his resume, given kind of Vince's love of gigantic men. Vince loves large men. That's the reason Omos was in the WrestleMania spotlight with Brock Lesnar. That's the reason Giant Gonzalez inexplicably was in WrestleMania with The Undertaker. That's why The Big Show and, Kane and it's all these big dudes. Hogan, all those people, enormous men. Vince loves them. And Rey Mysterio is such a small dude. He's such a tiny man. But what he lacks in height, he makes up for with just impeccable skill, personality, superstar factor. The dude he was the superhero before, Ricochet. Ricochet's whole deal, I think, is an homage to Rey Mysterio, where he's flying around as this superhero, and Rey Mysterio was that. The man carved a path through WWE, giving flowers to all superheroes. He would wear masks like Spider-Man's mask and Daredevil and you name it. Go back and watch old pay-per-views with Rey Mysterio headlining, and he had a different cool mask on. He would give masks to the kids. I mean, this dude really waved the nerd flag, in my opinion. That's why I really liked Rey Mysterio. And like I said, going back to Vince's just historic love of enormous, beefy men, Rey Mysterio was not that guy. He didn't fit that mold. And to do the things he has done, despite that, you're fighting an uphill battle when you're so small, you wear a mask, and you're in WWE. And he made so many inroads. He won the Royal Rumble. He won the title. That heavyweight title belt is so much bigger than Rey. If you go back and watch after he won that belt, it's so huge on that dude, and he wears it perfectly. I just watched an interview with Cody Rhodes. I think it was on inside the ropes, and he's talking about his match with Rey Mysterio and how Rey, called him over and said that he wanted to work him for WrestleMania, and he made Cody come up with the ideas. And then one day he goes, "Oh, do you have the ideas?" Cody brings it to him. They're outside of Vince's office, and Rey Mysterio just starts aggressively banging on the door. Bang, bang, bang. Then kicks the door open, maybe not super aggressively, but kicks the door open with the heel of his foot, walks in, "Hey, Vince, I want to work Cody for WrestleMania." And then Vince asks him, all shook, like, "What the hell just happened? Someone just kicked my door in. Do you have ideas?" And Cody gives him the ideas, and he begrudgingly looks through it, and he goes, "Okay, WrestleMania, the match is going to be good, right?" And Ray's like, "Of course, it's going to be great." And then they just walk out, and Cody remarks that the match would not happen if Rey didn't, do what he did, which was, basically kick the boss's door in and tell him what was happening. Didn't ask, just like, "I want to do this." You have to think that that's how Rey operates at all times. He is a tiny man in a company of giants. He has to have a personality and a drive that just completely dwarfs the size of anyone in his way. He had to kick doors open and get people interested. He had to make inroads with, a loud voice and, maybe tactically, because in Cody's story, he wasn't aggressive about his ask. He was very, cordial. But the initial, bang on the door was like, "You have to pay attention to me," kind of thing. And I think, from all the stories I've heard of Vince, he likes kind of that weird, aggressive, grab the brass ring, if you would, attitude. And Rey had to have that in spades. It had to be ingrained in him. He knew when he entered WWE that this was his company and he was never going to leave. That was his house and he owned it now. And to do that, he had to be bigger than everyone else, because they were going to count him out anyway. So why not be the loudest person? Why not kick the doors in? Why not demand certain things? And because of that attitude, he's garnered the respect of everyone in the locker room. He is a living legend. He got inducted into the Hall of Fame, and he is still an active wrestler, which doesn't happen often. I think it happened with Edge, and Edge is in the Hall of Fame, right? And maybe when Triple H got inducted with DX, I'm not sure. I can't remember, but I know Rey wrestled the SmackDown after WrestleMania, where he got Hall of Fame. So the man's still working. I'm sure he'll be, hanging up his boots and stuff soon. He's, probably in his 50s, but he's giving the shine to his son now to go out there and do his thing. And Dominic gets better with every match. He gets better with his promos with every, anytime someone hands him a mic, which is a very far. If you go back and look, he didn't talk a whole lot when he first got there, and now they hand him a mic every night. Every night the Judgment Day goes out there, Dominic has a mic, and that is probably a testament to him working with his dad and his natural wrestling acumen. He grew up around that stuff. It's crazy to think how far Rey Mysterio has come, and he still has stuff going on. Like I said, he reintroduced the LWO, and he's now their de facto leader. Santos Escobar went from being a heel in the SmackDown World Cup to, once that Dominic and Rey story moved over to SmackDown, Rey was probably like, "Yeah, I want to work with those guys." And he's like, "They can't be heels anymore. They got to be face because they're working with Rey." And Rey is no heel. What do you guys think of Rey Mysterio and all the things he's contributed to the business? Let me know in the comments. You love him. Who doesn't like Rey Mysterio? If you don't like Rey Mysterio, let me know in the comments. Thanks again for listening. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast on any and all platforms. Tell a friend about the show, and don't you forget,
I'm your friend, but if I ever see you in the ring, I can beat you. Don't you know? Yeah, yeah, yeah.